Hey guys, welcome back to our superhero. I don't know what to really call it, but it's our Marvel vs. DC series. Where we left off yesterday, we left off with Spider-Man, Peter Parker. He is pretty awesome, but we gotta move on. So, next we have Captain America, or Steve Rogers. I never exactly liked Captain America. To be honest, I wasn't really one to like Captain America because it's just like he was in like World War I, no, World War II, or both. I don't really remember, but it was like one or the other, and it just seems stupid. So he was, before he became Captain America, Steve Rogers was this scrawny little kid who was always picked on, but he never backed down. He always stood his ground, but he was always picked on. So when he tried entering the military, he couldn't go in because of how scrawny and how like terrible everything was for him. But they turned him into this super soldier. So he was buffer, stronger. I don't think he's invincible, but he is definitely buffer. He was frozen once or twice. I don't really remember that very well, but I know he was frozen over a period of time. He first appeared in the Captain America comics, the first one, in 1941. Now this one wasn't in the 60s. This one was definitely earlier because it was during World War I, I guess. To try to lift our spirits or whatever. That's why this comic came out. He's in peak physical condition. Like, he is like peak. It is peak. He wields his shield, his vibranium steel alloy shield, which is like some rare metal on Earth. And his colors, he's called Captain America, so his colors are obviously red, white, and blue. As you can see, his uniform down there. His uniform honestly hasn't changed much over the years. I'm guessing because they think he's pretty good with the uniform he has on right now, and because he was frozen, so it's like he might as well keep it. He was an expert tactician, or he was very good at strategy, and he was a very good field commander because of how well he was in strategy. Now, moving on from Captain America, never liked him. We can push him aside now. We got one of my favorite ones on Marvel, Wolverine, aka Logan. He just looks so badass, does he not? Okay, so we see him, not in full, but for a little bit in The Incredible Hulk number 180 in 1974. Now this is definitely way later than the 60s. It was early 70s when this guy came in the scene for Marvel. We see him fully in The Incredible Hulk number 181 in 1974 as well. He has his healing factor, which you can't determine how old he is because he can live forever because of his healing factor. He stays at a certain age forever because if he has a failing organ, well, he can't have a failing organ because of his healing factor. He can't get drunk. Tranquilizer darts don't work on him. Nothing works on him because of his healing factor. His skeletal structure is made out of a metal, like a rare metal, and he has his retractable claws that are also made out of metal. Now, if you've seen one of the movies in Wolverine, so this is probably gonna be a spoiler if you haven't, but I'm pretty sure everyone has seen this movie. But if you've seen X-Men, one of the X-Men movies, with mainly around Wolverine or Rogue. No, not that one. It was X-Men Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine. So you can tell that his claws used to be just bone that came out of his arm. And if you notice on the X-ray, you notice that the retractable claws are separate bones entirely from his skeletal structure, which is pretty awesome. You have your superhuman senses, reflexes, and animal-like attributes. Now you can realize this when you're watching him, because his superhuman sense of smell. He can smell amazingly well. He is a Wolverine, period. His animal-like attributes are because his name is Wolverine. He takes on the Wolverine attributes. So he became the animal. Longevity. I'm not entirely sure what longevity means, honestly. I'm not that great in vocabulary. But it is extended. Next, we have Black Panther, aka T'Challa. Now, Black Panther is pretty awesome. He is pretty cool. He was first seen in the Fantastic Four number 52 issue in 1966. So it's not as late as Wolverine in the 1970s, but he is in the later 60s. He's a skilled hunter, strategist, politician, inventor, and scientist, which is pretty cool. Wow, that is going on for a long time. I didn't realize how long that was. So he's skilled as a hunter, as a tracker, strategist, politician apparently. He's an inventor and a scientist. He is the Black Panther. He is a panther basically. He's an acrobat, gymnast, and martial artist. Because, oh man, why do I keep yawning? Because he's a panther. They are they're very capable. He has superhuman senses, Olympic level of strength, speed, agility, stamina, and reflexes. Honestly, I want to say he's higher than Olympic level, to be honest. Because there's no way he's just Olympic level. He has to be higher than it, right? He is a genius in his intellect. And his uniform is made out of vibranium, just like Captain America's shield. So his uniform, his boots, and equipment, everything is made out of vibranium. That I guess would fit pretty comfortably. I mean, it looks comfortable. I would probably wear that to bed, to be honest. Okay, next we have Thor. Now, in the first Thor movie that they just came out with in 2011 or something, if I got that right, I would be very surprised. But in the first Thor movie they came out with, I didn't like it too much. And then the second movie they came out with, it was even worse to me. So it's really? Yeah, and his uniform hasn't really changed much, I don't think. It probably has a little bit. And it's... Okay, so he's an Asgardian. He came from another realm. He's very arrogant. That's one thing that really throws me off. I mean, I understand he's a god and everything, so he's going to be arrogant. But still, it's it just throws me for a loop. It's really? Do you have to be so arrogant all the time? We first see him in the comic book Journey into Mystery, number 83 in 1962. So, 62 again, we come back to our 62s. I don't know why they decided to put him in a comic book in the first place. He just doesn't seem like someone I'd want in a comic book. I am apparently very tired because I am yawning a lot. Okay, so he has his superhuman strength, endurance, and longevity. Well, duh. He isn't human to begin with. He is a god. He is literally a god. And that looks really cool. I'm so happy I decided to do that. Wow, it looks awesome. Okay, so he has dimensional transportation. obviously, because how is he gonna go from his world to our world? Electric manipulation. Well, Thor is known as the god of lightning, like lightning god, obviously. He can fly. I hope he can fly. I mean, if he didn't fly, that would definitely be a downer on everything. And he can manipulate the weather, which is pretty cool, I guess. Next, we have Hawkeye. I really love Hawkeye. I mean, I don't really like that uniform per se. I like his newest uniform. He looks awesome, like badass. And I just love him so much. So we first see him in Tales of Suspense number 57 in 1964, which is pretty awesome. He's a master archer and marksman. So if you've seen him in Avengers, I think Assemble, I think that's the series I remember, Avengers Assemble, you can tell that he is definitely a marksman. No matter what weapon he uses, whether it be a bow, a gun on a ship, anything, he will always hit his target. If you would say, like, if you were against him, you say, oh, you missed me, he'd be like, did I? Because he probably wasn't even aiming for you in the first place. Because he never misses his target. He is an expert tactician, and he is fairly good in martial arts. He is pretty cool because he uses his arrows. I mean, you have to be pretty tactical to use arrows in combat, and that was probably my phone that fell. Yep. Okay. So you have to be pretty much an expert on those things, and if you run out of arrows, you gotta have a backup plan, you know? So, martial artist. He uses a variety of trick arrows, or arrows that he makes himself. So, like, he has his trap arrows and everything else that he uses very tactically. He can use them very tactically because he's a very tactical person. Now we move on to Deadpool. Now, Deadpool is pretty cool. I like Deadpool. So, Deadpool, Wade Winston Wilson. Now, Deadpool's story is pretty, intense. Apparently, he was put in a program to try to recreate, Wolverine's ability, and he turned out to be not a success, but a failure. So his face is completely damaged, so he always wears his mask and his uniform because he's completely damaged. We see him in the first time we see him, or he appears, is the New Mutants number 98 in 1991. 91, that is really late in the 1900s. That was pretty, yeah. He has a healing factor as well as Wolverine, so he can't get drunk. I mean, I guess it's a newer Deadpool game. I'm not for sure if it's new or not. But in a Deadpool game, you see that he goes into the fridge to get alcohol. Like, his fridge is full of alcohol. But he can't get drunk. He drinks it, but he can't get drunk. He's a master martial artist, swordsman, and marksman. He is known for his martial arts, his swordsman, and his marksman. His favorite weapon, though, is the sword. And if you watch one of the X-Men Origins, we're going back to that one, X-Men Origins, where it's mainly focused on Wolverine, but you realize that Wade is there. And he says his favorite weapon is a sword because it leaves an impression. And we'll have to stop here because I'm almost out of time. We'll continue with Deadpool next time. See ya.